to come here at 3:30. Now it's already 4. So I think I will make it very short statement. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. There cannot be any doubt that media plays extremely important role, not just in India, but in every democracy. And constitutionally speaking, freedom of speech is established as a cornerstone in Indian democracy. In a democracy, it is duty of every institution to empower people, to enable them to take informed decisions. And that empowerment surely comes through the media. So questions are raised whether media is performing its role as it should, and they follow the norm of being free from any bias or prejudice and truly uphold independent press. On the question of independent press, I was surprised to read something which a very leading journalist of New York Times spoke more than 100 years back. He was a very senior journalist, and an event was organized and somebody raised toast in the name of independent press. Then John Swinton, who was the chief guest, what I was surprised about, that this is more than 100-year-old speech. He said, there is no such thing at this date of the world's history in America as an independent press. You know it and I know it. There is not one of you, these are not my words, these are of John Swinton. There is not one of you who dares to write your honest opinions. And if you did, you know beforehand that it would never appear in print. I am paid weekly for keeping my honest opinion out of the paper I am connected with. Others of you are paid similar salaries for similar things, and any of you who would be so foolish as to write honest opinions would be out on the streets looking for another job. And he goes on, there are a few more paras, and the last para is such which I would definitely not like to read to this audience. It's so strong. So these are the actually, it has been said that the greatness of a society does not depend on the enforcement of the positive laws and not just free choice. There is a gray area in between, which is called obedience of the unenforceable. Obedience of the unenforceable. Certain lines, or if I say that in our own Indian term, maryada, that line has to be respected. And that when it comes to maryada, it cannot happen through some enforcement agency. This is something which a discipline which one imposes on oneself voluntarily. And I feel that now that maybe I add one more sentence. When I was in the, I did not go through 10+2 system. In our days, pre-university was there. So after my high school, I went to the university. And I remember, because I had started taking part in the debates, essay writing competitions, so my teachers, who were very kind, they would insist that I not only read newspapers, but I should write particularly the editorials, that those editorials I should read and write them in my own handwriting and read them again and again. Naturally, their aim was that I am able to improve my language, my writing, etc. But since last about 1 week, I am really wondering, because Kerala, I am facing a situation where there is certain code of conduct. I want to differ with the Prime Minister, or I differ with the Prime Minister. In 1986, I resigned my job before I started criticizing the decision which he had taken. No minister can criticize the head of the government. But a minister in Delhi dared to criticize the head of the state. If you recall, because most of the people here must be from the media background, it was during the time of Gyani Zail Singh ji. And the situation had become so tense. Finally, that minister had to be dropped from the cabinet. And here, since CAA, I am governor of a state where government and the opposition both were opposed to CAA. I am representative of the president. An act which has been passed by parliament, which has been signed by the president, I thought that it is my duty, my dharma, to defend that. And this was about 3 or 4 months after I assumed my duty as governor of Kerala. Immediately a campaign started. Every day statement, I am here to implement BJP RSS agenda. I am here for this purpose. I am here for this purpose. I wondered that if the ministers cannot criticize the head of the government, how dare they criticize the head of the state? Therefore, last week, I put a Twitter. I said, if any minister makes a statement which aimed at lowering the dignity of the office of the governor, it will invite action, including withdrawal of pleasure. One may agree, one may disagree. But I am so surprised to see channels, newspapers, everybody, in fact, I consulted every dictionary, whether pleasure is synonym of sacking. But everybody is saying that I have threatened to sack the minister. No, I even consulted the Black's Law Dictionary. Nowhere pleasure is a synonym of sacking. Because as governor, there are 2 parts of my oath. One is to defend, protect and preserve the Constitution. Second is to serve the people of my state to the best of my ability. If I see something happening, for instance, my state is the only state where every minister has a right to appoint 25 persons in his personal staff, and they become entitled to lifelong pension after serving for 2 years. Whereas a man in the army, he cannot become entitled to pension before he has completed 10 years of service. Therefore, what I said before this Twitter, I said that I have taken oath also to serve the people of Kerala to the best of my ability. If I see government doing something which I consider is injurious to the long-term interest of the people of the state, and I do not have the legal power to stop it, at least the least that I can do is that I must inform the people what they are doing. Through this withdrawing pleasure, what I meant was, I will withdraw my pleasure. It is for the Chief Minister to if he wants still to retain the man, he can retain it. But let people discuss what these people are doing. But I'm so surprised. Channels are saying that I have threatened to sack them. Newspapers in their editorials are saying that I have threatened to sack them. I have not. I have said I will withdraw my pleasure. Both the words are not synonymous. So therefore, the only thing that I can say is that I am a great believer in the obedience of the unenforceable. And there are two lines from one of our scripture which says that Sattasya Vachanam Shreya. It is very well, in fact desirable, needed to speak the truth. Satya dapi hitam vade. But that truth should be spoken which serves the larger interest of the people. Yad bhuthita matyantam etat satyam matam mam. What is beneficial, what serves the interest of Lok Sangra, Lok Kalyan is the best truth. I hope and pray that when all these 68 channels from all over India have come together, it will become much easier to prepare some guidelines, to impose some self-discipline, to see all these issues, because ultimately every institution in democracy must aim to serve the public interest. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Arif Mohammad Khan, Kerala Governor, for that keynote address. Arif Mohammad Khan, of course, sharing his always candid views on the topic future of news. We're now going to be swiftly moving ahead to our next session, because our next newsmaker, our next special guest is already with us, Akshata.
With the explosion in the sheer number of newsrooms across India, there is sprouting of editorial lines. This variety of editorial lines represent the huge spectrum of views that exist. Given such a background, and in sticking to the agenda of